Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for this opportunity to share a bit our experience. We've heard so far two interesting presentations on solutions and systems providers. We have a different perspective. We are a terminal operator operating now for over 20 years in the port of Beira, Mozambique, and we want to share shortly our approach and our history with implementations of various systems. But let me quickly introduce who we are. As I say, we work in the port of Beira. It is the port that is very strategically located in southern and eastern Africa. We serve mainly Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi, Eastern DRC, besides, of course, the Mozambican market. We as Cornelder in Mozambique, we are the concessionaire for the container and the general cargo terminal. So we're not a port authority. We are a terminal operator, and we are handling container and general cargo terminal and have done so since 1998. It has been quite a journey since 1998. If you just look at for example, the volumes handled, 2000, 30,000 TEUs, general cargo terminal, a bit more than 600,000 TEUs. And this year in 2020, we just finished the year with 255,000 TEUs and 3.1 million tons of general cargo. As concessionaire, we are responsible within our operations from the ship to the gate for all the port development and including or terminal development, including all IT systems. If we go back at the start of operations, when we took over in 1998, we took over an operation from the Port Authority that had 0 computers in operation, basically in operations, a little bit for accounting and these kind of things, but it was a paper-based system, including for the container terminal. We started with some very small systems, and the first, let's say, really a terminal operating system was a old system, no longer used, PMS. Which was a centralized system. We had people in the yard coming with pieces of paper and updating all the locations in the container yard. That was in the start, see here 2004, but it's actually in 2000. 2006, we made our first step towards a proper container terminal operating system, the Cosmos system. Started also basic, but gradually included things like vehicle-mounted computers, doing the vessel planning ourselves, and gradually adding the functionality that the modern port requires. 2016, we made a bit of a forced switch. We were, in principle, happy with the system Cosmos, but the parent company of Cosmos made the decision to no longer develop it and actually actively close down support. So we had about half a year or about a year to come up with a new system. In record time, we launched a tender and did successfully an implementation well in time of the cutoff. So it was quite a challenge. And we've learned many lessons there to push through a project at top speed. We will explain you a little bit later. 2020, we've added an own system, which we'll explain a little bit later, the Cornelder document management system. This year, we've been busy with it last year. We're also automating our container or general cargo terminal with a system called Comtrack. And next year, originally planned for, or 2021, we will start implementing also OCR systems throughout the port. If we look at our development strategy, well, what we've learned is don't exaggerate, yeah? Do a phased and gradual implementation. As soon as you do a tender and you start talking with all the providers and all the systems suppliers, they show you the most beautiful PowerPoint presentations and everything that can be done. You can automate everything and have so many options, and you tend to get excited, think, yes, this would be great for my business, and in many cases it is. But if you try to do everything at once, you are basically lining up a recipe for failure. So our philosophy has always been take it one step at a time so that you implement well. The last thing that you want is for your customers to suffer with business outages because you're struggling to implement 5 different modules at the same time and try to go from 0 to 100 in less than a second. Yeah, you also must look at how prepared is your own company, how prepared is the community in which you work. Yeah, for in our case, when we took over operations, we could have gone immediately in 1998, tried to implement everything. But if nobody is used to working with computers, with systems, you better take it one step at a time. The second important lesson that we have is take ownership as a terminal operator of your automation and your processes. Through discussions with our service providers, we've heard that many companies, many terminals tend to think as soon as it's a computer, it's a problem of the IT department and of the system supplier. Well, we think it doesn't work. Yeah. First of all, business processes are owned by the operations or the department that will be using it. It's not owned by the IT department. So just because it has a computer screen and an internet connection doesn't mean that it's the program of IT. It is important that from the moment that you select a system, from the moment that you start the implementation process, that you involve your own people. Yeah. To do that, you need to also, the third point, build robust internal capacity. Yeah, have the skills, have the know-how, have innovation in-house. Yeah, if you only rely on an external party to tell you, they will sell you everything. It's beautiful, but you in your own organization need to be able to judge what you can implement and what you actually need. In our case, we have built up quite an extensive IT department with a lot of youth, a lot of young talents in there that we have nurtured over the years. Some coming in as trainees, lots of contacts with local universities, to bring in a team that can develop in-house and that can guide a process. Yeah, because if you yourself as a company don't have the capacity, don't expect an external company to come in and do everything for you. You need knowledge on both sides. Yeah, if we look, the fruits of having these internal capabilities for us came last year. We had, as everyone in the world, were confronted in February, March with COVID, which implemented worldwide lockdowns. Mozambique, somewhere in March, also went into lockdown, and there were lots of new rules. You cannot have as many people working in the same office. More people need to work online, and you need to reduce customer contact, physical contact, to a maximum or to a minimum. Well, we quickly saw that our workflow dealing with documents in between customs, with our agents, with our clearance agents and cargo agents, and operations in the various departments was still too much physically based. Yes, we have a terminal operating system, and once the booking is there, it's all fine. But within our requirements by customs, we need to have the bill of lading. We need to have certain documents presented to us, and that was all physical. So we quickly saw we need to change this if we want to deal with this challenge of COVID. And before the new rules were in place, we had set up our own online portal for our clients, where they can start all the processes for invoicing, for submitting documentation that we require, and interact with us. Yeah, we did it fully in-house, knowing that yeah, it was difficult in times of COVID to follow the normal model. Yeah, bring in somebody, do a tender, have some meetings, speak with people, and then go for it. We needed to be faster, and we needed to do it without too much interaction. Well, we're very proud that that this system has been operating now, I think, for about half a year or a little bit more. And it's something that we will continue to use in the future. It will evolve. It will link up with our newer systems that we will implement, but we will keep it. So for us, COVID was a driver. Yeah, it was is a terrible situation. But don't let a good crisis go to waste, and modernize your business processes while you have the chance. Yeah, but once again, if you want to do that, you need to have your capabilities also in-house, that you're not fully dependent. We see that also with a second project that was under development this year. That is the General Cargo Terminal Operating System. We started the implementation process in the beginning of last year, but when things really started to become serious, all the development of the definition of all this customizations, training, everything. Yeah, suddenly we had travel restrictions. Nobody could come to Mozambique anymore. If you look at the model like we did with Navis 2-3 years before, we had consultants of Navis coming over, programmers of Navis coming over and staying with us and working. Well, that couldn't work anymore. So again, we had to change the model, count more on our internal people to do the training. We've had from TBA a lot of support. They do the development, but we here do the testing. We here tell, analyze and see how we would like the programs to be adjusted. And it's quite a process because it's a complicated terminal. Our general cargo terminal does lots and lots of different types of cargo. We have lots of bulk cargo on the import side. We have different types of fertilizer. We have wheat going into silos. We have clinker. We have a project cargo coming in. We have break bulk cargo coming in. We have on the export sides, we have chrome ore, we have granite blocks, we have sugar, we have transformation processes, we do bagging inside the port and we do debagging inside the port. So it's a lot of combinations, making it quite a lot more complex than implementing a pretty standard process such as a container terminal operating system. So having this internal team was essential. We are now about to go live, scheduled somewhere in the course of February, and it will be probably done without the presence of our software supplier due to travel restrictions. But we have the support, and we have our internal people that have now been fully trained, that can train again the other people, all done online. Yeah, it will be for us a game changer. Our container general cargo terminal suffers a lot with truck flow problems. Lots of trucks coming in, we cannot follow them. This new system will allow us to, from the moment they come into the gate up till the end, monitor every step, every process, have all the way bridges linked and to it, have an online portal where our customers can make truck appointments. So it will be a massive change for us on the general cargo terminal. And if you would have asked me, well, will you be able to do it without having the software supplier present? If you would have asked me that in the beginning of last year, would have said no way. But again, with COVID, and thanks to a few years back, starting with building our own capacity, a big IT department, young people also on the operations side who have good computer skills. Well, it's a bit too early to say. It can still go wrong, but we have all the confidence that we will make it a success. So yeah, that is from our side in a nutshell our philosophy. Yeah, do it step by step. Don't try to do everything at once. Make sure that you own the processes that you have. Don't you can outsource to a development company, but still it is your process. Yeah, and to be able to do that, you need to build your internal capacity. So count on youth, get good talents in and nurture them and let them do their job. With that, I say thank you very much. And I think later on the questions will be answered.